couple of slides, and then we can jump into the live demo, demo of it. So one of the things I think I have a unique view coming into Hyper recently, and that has given me a unique view of things because I'm newer and I want to understand how best to work. And I'm really excited to work on this with you guys. And I came up with this, and it was specifically based around we have a lot of customers that already trust Hyper today, but they aren't actively being worked and they're not actively being engaged. And in order to sell customers, one of the most important things that everyone has is trust. So if I'm outside looking in, if I want to grow our sales at Hyper, one of the things that I have to do is I have to find customers that have a lot of trust. So in this, uh, I think our most underutilized resource is our current customers that have already bought something from Hyper but aren't actively being engaged. So that's what this tool is all about. In addition to that, I bolted on the ability of having kind of a next play. So if a customer is already bought like physical security from us, how do we expand that into something else? So is what I did is I went into Avant and I downloaded all of the possible vendors in Avant. And then I created an Excel sheet that kind of maps them out based on trust, based on what the next uh, pro product is going to be. And that essentially gives us the next playbook of how to pitch our accounts. Um, One of the great things about this is it's not only for sales, but it's also for our leadership team. So once we have the skills built out at any time, if anyone on the leadership team wants to know what's happening with an account, you can simply put /brief and it'll brief you on that customer.
Mm.
Um, so this is essentially what I wanted to map out for you guys. I I did start with kind of doing something similar to Scout, but I felt like the most impact that we're going to have is our existing client base. So, what the problem that this solves is right now, some of the reps are kind of flying blind. We have all these vendors out there, right? We have all these things to sell, but like, what do you pitch first? Who do you align with first? Um, we have all of these customers that have bought a single product line from Hyper that aren't actively being engaged. And then once they are engaged, like what do you sell them? What's the next best thing? So this is going to address all of that. Um, this next slide kind of explains how I got there. So the first thing I did is I went into Avant and I scrubbed every single vendor we could sell. I exported that out and it literally lists what they're good at, what the next best thing is at. And then I went in and pulled all of our hyper customers out and I kind of mapped them. So all of our accounts that I could find in the system now have essentially been scored. And then we have a playbook for the sales team to engage them on. And then it's all wired together. So one of the one of the amazing things about this tool is I am literally using all of the things that we have available to us now. HubSpot is our source of truth, has everything in it, but to bounce around to the different screens is difficult to find what you're looking for. So the first thing my bot does is it scrubs that. It then enriches it with Zoom information. It also goes out and looks for Firefly. And then the cherry on top is it also um, looks for most recent email interactions and it pulls all of these in together. So my bot consists of four different co co commands. It consists of brief, top 10, summary, and churn. So two of these are really based on sales, and two of them are based on the leadership side. One of the things that we ran into recently with churn is, the VRI client. That client left us recently, right? And if we go back and we look at the history of that account and what happened, I believe that my bot, if it was in place right now, would have helped prevent that type of client from beginning to churn. So um, these are the four commands.
So are those
Can you
skills
give us
or are they individual?
specifics?
Or sorry, are they skills or are they individual? So are those skills for us to use in Claude or are they actual bots that run
These are
actively?
these are skills
Okay.
in Claude. Um,
Can you give us a little bit more detail, Gabe, on
sure.
how specifically this tool would have helped on the VRI account?
Yeah, for sure. So VRI, the reason they churned is they there was a lack of activity. So we had multiple reps in there. It went from Brandon to Chad to me, and so there wasn't a strategy to hand that call off. So we kind of lost visibility into it. This account would have, with my churn um skill, it would have had a lot of red flags on it right away. Um, Number one, just lack of being engaged. And so the churn skill is going to automatically, on a regular basis, it's going to flag accounts that aren't actively being worked.
Okay.
So
So is it activities that calls, meetings, like
yeah,
what does it mean, like
ex
activity?
yep, calls, meetings, messages to them, um, lack of deals. Um, it and you'll see it in a second when I do the demo on this, but it literally lists out all of the things, and at the bottom it'll flag it if there's been a lack of activity.
So what
So
happens if there's rogue activity that the skill can't track?
such as
An email or phone call, a
an
meeting
email
that
should be tracked for sure.
should and can. I mean that's different. That's a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. But we have all the tools in place to track that, so it 100% should be tracked. And if it's not being tracked today, we need to set that up and make sure that that is being done, because that's super important. Um, Dialpad also links to HubSpot. So if we adopt that, that's going to be able to pull that information in the activity field.
I'm curious, Gabe, just maybe I misunderstood. So churn is a skill, right? So if I wanted to use it, is it automatically sending me, hey, these three accounts in your name are at risk, or do I have to
Yes.
use the skill and say, slash churn, you know, uh, Credit One Bank, and then it'll tell me, no, it's not at risk or it is at risk.
So churn has a pretty broad scope to it. It'll go through all of our accounts, and it'll pull the top 10, and it'll let you know based on that which reps need to reach out to those clients. Um, the churn report is probably more geared towards the leadership team, but it could be used as sales well as well.
So do you have automated alerts going out to different reps? Like, hey, every Monday you get a churn report or an alert report that like these 6 clients are at risk. These are the reasons. Or is it just you have to just actively go out and ask it?
Yeah, so right now I do not have any automation set up on these, but like the top 10, the summary, and the churn, I believe would be amazing to set it up so it automatically sends those out to the leadership team. And I don't know if that's best done in Make or if we need to, set up some different tools, but this is as far as I took this part.
Okay.
So like sentiment versus churn, because churn that we haven't lost anything yet. Other than like VRI, we did lose. We're trying to catch it before we lose it.
Right, exactly. So it's looking for things like, do they have a single deal? That's a flag. Has there been in any activity on the account? That's a flag. Has there been a leadership change? That's another flag. There's a bunch of them, and we can run it here in a second. I'm gonna skip to the ROI benefits. So this is the ROI to this. I believe we can save around 600 hours from the reps. And if we save one customer, or if we get one extra deal for each of the reps, that's worth $2,000 MRR. If we save one customer, that's worth $180,000 MRR. And lastly, this is also assuming that we have a 10% growth on our existing accounts based off of this.
Mhm.
So there's a huge impact to having the right information and having the right tools and being able to prevent churn, giving the reps the information ahead of time, and having better dialogue with their accounts. So I'm going to stop sharing here. And then I'm going to pop over to Claude. So, is there a customer you guys have in mind that you'd like to kind of take a peek at?
Who's the new one that James is going out to?
Yeah.
JD?
Oh, gold injury. What is it called? Gold West Injury Law or something like that.
Probably need to
Here,
know it. For
I have it in my
sure.
Look up-
calendar. Hold
yeah,
on.
can you
How
look up
about
the
how about
name of-
Unicity? What if we used Unicity as an example? UNICITY.
UNIC?
ITY.
Okay.
Do you have a functionality, Gabe, where you could like go in and ask it what are looking across the whole company, what are the top 5 companies that are flagged that we need to pay attention to? Or do we have to go in and ping one at a time?
No, I think that is under the /summary, and that's more of a leadership tool, and that'll kind of go over and run the top accounts based on what deals are being worked and what reps have activity on them.
And
So
how did you determine what the red flags are?
as far as the churn report,
Yeah.
so a single deal, or a single solution, I should say. The second one would be they haven't had a deal in a significant amount of time. And then number 3 is they haven't been reached out to. There's been 0 activities on the account. And then also it'll go out and pull intelligence based on Zoom, and it'll check like if there's been any leadership updates, anything like that. So right now you can see this just ran the HubSpot, and now it's being enriched in Zoom. And then it's gonna shift to go to Firefly. And then right after that, it's gonna search Microsoft 365. And in just a second, it's gonna start giving us information based on this tool that we created.
Hey Gabe, I'm curious about something while
Yep.
this is loading. If I had a prospect account that's not yet in HubSpot and I did it, would it be able to do it and still pull from the Zoom info or the web or anything else and just
Yes.
not have some of the HubSpot? So if I said, hey, I just ran into this company called, Super Gilmore Corp.
Yes.
It would
Mhm.
still pull up who I need to talk to and all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So you wouldn't get this very top little part here, like the expansion score and the rank, but essentially everything else it'll do it. I ran it on Thrive Aviation, which is a newer account that I've engaged with, and it pulled up a whole bunch of relevant information. So here's the account snapshot.
Do you
You
know
can
any of
see
those
that.
names, James?
I know basically all those names, yeah.
Okay.
So this is also being enriched in Zoom. So if it finds things, it'll enrich it in Zoom. Services in place. So this is a quick view to see, hey, what have these guys bought from us? This is important. How do they see Hyper today? So any account that we've sold into, the first solution we end up selling them, oftentimes it changes how they see the Hyper team. So it's kind of important to understand how they view us. Here's competitive intelligence. Technology gaps we find in this vertical market. So this is going out and grabbing intelligence in the marketplace based on their vertical. Provocative insight. This kind of gives you maybe something to talk about or a unique lens, something to think about or ask them about. So this is talking about clean rooms and how that's different. Some ideas of what's broken based on everything this customer has. Trigger events. So it looks like James, you got some stuff going as of today. That's awesome. That's very good. Uh, so, and it gives a summary. These little yellow flags are maybe things to think about that have happened in the past.
Can I say
Expansion
one?
plays.
Can I say something
Yeah,
really cool, by the way, Gabe? Is when I made the deal initially, I didn't know what the amount was going to be, so I put 13,000 in the deal. You could check it right now because I just closed it today. Or Vanessa's actually getting it closed. But the number on the quote that they just approved is the 25K. So it knew
Nice.
which number to actually
yeah.
pull, not just the one that's in the field for the deal. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So this will also pull, this is where Zoom comes into play. So it's pulling the Zoom intent and it's giving you ideas of what to
Look at
talk
play
about based off
three.
that.
Look at the second line of play three. Someone at Unicity's Utah headquarters actively researching networking right now.
Right?
Wow.
It's awesome. SD-WAN play 5. Based on how much stuff we have available to sell our customers, sometimes as a rep, it's overwhelming of what the next play is. And this literally breaks it down and gives us things to think about and make it easy so we can reach out to them. Here's some discovery questions. So this would be having a better meeting with the customer. So walking in, this is going to give us some different things to think about. The talk track. So I ran this on ECL gaming earlier, like last week. It was so accurate that I was able to copy and paste this and send it off to send it off to my customer. And it did that because it looked at Firefly and it knew that that was an action item and it incorporated that back into this. So here's some open action items suggested to send. And you can see
Oh,
this
so you got an
pulled in.
email to send, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Gabe, can we pull one that's bad that we already know, like Sierra
Yeah,
Nevada or Sierra Space? Do Sierra
yeah.
Nevada? I'm just interested what it would come up with.
You probably better put Sierra Nevada Corp in Reno or in Sparks. Maybe say in Sparks. Oh well, we'll see. You're just
Let's
gonna
see
put
what
it
it
to the
does.
test.
I did it on VRI, and it was really interesting because they're beginning to churn, right? And it summarized all of the stuff. It looked at the Firefly call that Jared and I had. It just it highlighted why they churned. I mean, it was really incredible the amount of data that it grabs. Now, right now, it's going to take a little extra time because this chat is kind of long because I've been running a bunch of tests on it. So give it a second to compress this.
Yeah, I will just little note for everyone, if you use that command compact, it's a good idea just to kind of do that periodically in any long conversations that will stop your token usage from exponentially getting bigger because every single thing, it's not like you're asking it a question about the thing it just output. Every time you say okay or go ahead or anything like that, it goes back and reads every single line of the whole conversation. So
That sounds like a more of like a Claude issue than a.
it is, but you do want that context sometimes. But if you do compact, it essentially tells Claude, go put all the really important relevant information and iterations of what we've talked about and get it down into a small paragraph. Take the pages and turn it into a paragraph.
And sometimes you might even want to just get that summary and then start a whole new chat with that summary so that it's not constantly going back and searching the whole thread.
So I did create the skills, but in addition to that, if we wanted to make a website that had all of our clients on here, um, we could actually make this as well. And this is really easy because you can just search by by client and it'll
So this
pull
is
up.
kind of what Christian was saying, like, can we just see the top 5
Yeah,
ones that are the biggest concern?
exactly. Yeah. So the dashboard, these are actually the top these are what it's saying are the top accounts that we should be going after based on our ideal customer size, what we're selling them now, et cetera, et cetera.
So like Four Wall Entertainment, we haven't sold them anything.
They should be an active customer. We have circuits with them.
We don't.
Well,
I'm
then
almost
the
positive we've
HubSpot,
never sold them a thing.
what's that?
I'm almost positive we only have
Yeah,
one closed loss deal and it's for Aristocrat. Or it's
well,
for Checkpoint
well,
or something.
yeah, it was Checkpoint with Four Wall.
Well, we should run that one then and see what it says because I mean HubSpot is going to be the ultimate source of truth. So if
Yeah.
if the data is kind of wrong in there, it might give us some weird, some weird
Well, it's
solutions,
also
but
pulling from intent because it looked like it was a cybersecurity and it was saying you should be talking to them about Fortinet.
exactly. That's what's great about this is it works for existing clients and helps us keep the ones we have, but it also works on giving us better intelligence and things to talk about for the customers walking in, like Thrive and like this one. So it really works on both sides. And that's why I think it's going to have a big impact on our operations and the hyper team.
Gabe, they did leave Fortinet to go to something else.
Who did?
Four Wall. They
Four
went
wall.
to
Okay.
Zscaler
Okay.
after they left Fortinet.
So here is Sierra Nevada. Looks like it pulled a lot of
Freaking Al, Tom, F them kids. Okay, Scott Angus.
service.
Some of
This is
the
kind of, you can see the summary of a lot of the services that that were in place or that are in place. It'll also score the deal too, based on time, etc. Lost or disconnected. How they see hyper. This is kind of interesting. I mean, how cool is this? So like James B just came on board. Like we all don't have enough time to talk to James to him to let him know every single account. If he wants to know anything, he can just hop on here. It literally gives you a full summary going back 10 plus years.
Mhm.
Provocative insight. What's broken? So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom of this if this is okay, just to see what the summary is. It's here's the open action items. So a lot of things with Mick here. And 2 flags. So you see a lot of like red things are coming up here. And here's the bottom summary. Hyper's only touching 26% of their global footprint.
What is the scroll up just a minute? I just want to see what was the Zoom intent right there. 2 Zoom info intent signals by network management on April 25th and networking telecom for Denver and Raleigh. Someone's evaluating right now.
Yeah.
What would be good training for it, or like a way to just update it is like if you were to tell anybody, hey, they're looking at all this stuff, but we have deals that are stalled and disconnects happening, we would all say, well, that's a bad sign that we don't know this is going on, and it's not a good sign for the relationship. But Claude is saying, oh, we're looked at as a long-term, strategic partner with this amazing relationship. So there might be some it might be good to adjust it to wait immediate or recent activity more than historical activity to an extent.
Yeah, and
Okay.
just by way of, we're gonna have to wrap up
Sure.
here too. So I want to give you a chance to close, but a few more questions. I think that's a great suggestion. The present's far more important than the past necessarily.
Yep.
So we would want to wait that. As far as, do you have any idea on token usage or how intensive this is? This is a skill, so it really shouldn't, the skill should help actually resolve so we don't use a lot of tokens. So that's great. And that was brief. We didn't get to see churn. That was one that was super interesting to me too.
Yeah.
Maybe just run that one.
Do you want
just
me to
for
run it
fun.
real quick?
Yeah, just so we could see it.
Okay. Let's take a
Any other questions from the rest of you?
I guess I am wondering, kind of to, um, on the back of that same question. So does the team access this just via Claude using a skill? It's not like a portal or anything that people go to. They just run a skill.
So, yeah, I love the simplicity of this one.
Okay.
It's easy to run. So there's a project that I created. Once this is approved, or if everyone likes it, I'm going to add the rest of the team, the leadership team and sales. And then each rep needs to make sure that they have the MPC connector dialed into each of the four different tools. And then once that is done, they can literally go into this at any time and run these skills, and it'll summarize everything and kick it out. So Ryan, I'm not really sure how to create like a global skill for the whole organization, but I'm assuming that that's something that we can
Super
get through.
easy. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think I think you've built something extremely straightforward. What's fun about this is that it is a skill. Everybody else has kind of built portals or
Mhm.
tools that then, but as a skill, everybody will have access to it from day one and will be able to utilize this. And then they will be able to tweak it because it's a skill to their own liking. So they'll be able to, for example, run a routine every Monday, and they could, like, if it was me, I would ask it, I would run me the briefing skill for each of my meetings that I have scheduled this week. Or maybe you
Yeah.
do that each day. If I have a customer meeting scheduled for the day, run the briefing skill. Or if I have a meeting scheduled next week, by Thursday, run the briefing skill for me so I can prepare for the meeting automatically. And then because it's a routine, it will just show up as over on that left side of your routine. So that will be really, really cool. So
Absolutely. So here's the start of the churn health report. You can see VRI came up, boom, right in the beginning, but then this also summarizes some of the other ones. So this is probably leaning a little bit heavy on James's side, just for the fact that it is weighted to only having a single service. So you can see it scored all of our accounts that are in there. And then these are the ones that it thinks are most critical to take a peek at. Like, how awesome is this? Like, if the leadership team can look at this once a week and be like, hey, why is this account on this list? Explains why, what it's seeing.
yeah, it does look like it automatically, if you have an opportunity with no notes, meaning it was created, nothing happened, and it's billing. If it's had billing and no notes, it's automatically showing up in there.
Yeah.
So
I'm
Okay.
a bad boy on this list.
And it
Mm.
even will give it what has changed in the last one. So kind of cool.
Well, and something that could piggyback on this is if you did build out the API with HubSpot, that you could have this delivered to every rep's inbox every Monday morning. Like
Yes.
what are your red flags? Your red flag report every Monday morning, and give them a jump start on the week on what to focus on.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
totally agree.
All right. Well, awesome
Okay.
job. I love what you built. Very, very cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely nails it in terms of the contest, what the goal was out of this. So you are welcome to stay on. Oh, I'm supposed to tell Laura. Their time's coming. Anyway,
Okay,
anyone
cool.
else have any kind of final thoughts?
I just think this is awesome that it's something that any of us could basically start using right away, Gabe.
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you, James. Appreciate it.
Definitely easy to modify to enhance. Yeah, good starter game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ryan finally gave up with his regular eyes. I noticed that the last couple of meetings.
Yo,
Well-
Chad, chill.
This is these are still just the blue light ones, but I'm doing whatever I
Really?
can just to get to save my eyes. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go next door and go ask him. What do I
Watching
need to
Ryan
do?
have his identity crisis when he couldn't read the board.
Yeah,
It's
I already
fine,
know
Ryan.
he's watching
Before you
the
know, you're gonna
monitor.
have glasses everywhere.
Yeah,
Just get LASIK. Just get LASIK done.
but
No, that doesn't-
I
I
would,
already had
but it
LASIK.
doesn't matter, right? Kristen was
And
telling
when
me.
yeah, I already had LASIK. That's for like vision correction. But once you hit like the 50-ish age, then guess what? LASIK doesn't help you anymore.
I'm getting LASIK in June.
Get
Hey.
it done. Best cosmetic surgery I've ever done.
You did it, Chad?
Yeah, 25 years ago. Still have
See,
20/20 vision.
My dad did it in 01, and if he wasn't just an old geezer, he would never wear glasses. Still. So,
Same here.
you don't have to be an old geezer. You're not as old as my dad. Don't worry,
I'm
Kristen.
fine. Yeah, I'm not, but Yes, I did do LASIK and it made it so I didn't need glasses anymore till now.
What's up, Lauren?
Awesome.
Hey guys.
All right, Lauren. Well, welcome. Sorry about
Nice-
the
nice
glasses thing,
Thanks.
but excited to have you. So I'm just gonna kind of level set for you.
Okay.
We invited Gabe to stay if he wanted to. After you present, you get to stay on. So just kind of overview. Everybody has the answers to the prompt that you sent in, and they received an overall briefing document for each submission. They have not seen any demos. They've not seen any marketing material. So that's completely up to you to do. You're gonna take it through it. We're gonna give you roughly 10 to 15 minutes to present. Then we're going to ask you questions about it, or we might even have you, like, if you have a demo, we might say, okay, we want you to try something else. And then after that, you're off the hook. So
Okay. Sounds
take
good.
it away.
Okay. I'm gonna do a presentation and the demo was within the presentation. Is
Cool.
that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me share. Okay, so my whole idea is basically a customer transparency portal. The reason why I was thinking about this, me transitioning into the new role, and us kind of losing one source was really the driver behind this. And so, you think of how many times we get a customer calling or putting in a ticket asking, when is my contract up? What is my billing like? What is my utilization look like of my circuits? And so all of those things we've tried in different areas, one being uh not Kaseya. Is it Kaseya? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just isn't working, right? And so with Claude, I kind of problem solved and came up with this portal. So let me go next. So this is just kind of data that I pulled. We do have 155 active accounts in HubSpot. 20 of them being, the top 20 is where these numbers are coming from. So on average, it's 3 to 5 times per month that we are, getting these calls or tickets being put in, asking for these things. It takes about roughly around 20 minutes with this data set. And there's really zero self-service for the customer. That's really big. If you think about, your shopping experience, there are a lot of portals you get to see kind of from the beginning to the end. So it's really just a way to, again, create that transparency with the customer. So what this will show, there will be kind of 6 tabs within the portal. So there'll be circuit inventory, there will be contract tracking, billing history, support tickets, bandwidth reports, and then smart alerts, as well as it all on a dashboard. And so the use case I use that we'll go into is going to be for Richard Harris Law. So I'm going to pull up the dashboard right now in the demo. Let me just switch over to that screen. 1 second.
So this is the real deal data.
Correct, from HubSpot.
That is interesting. I'm excited to see this demo.
Did I share the? Yeah, I did. Okay, 1 sec. Okay, so this is the dashboard here. So what the idea is to have alerts. So if there is a contract expiring anytime soon, that'll have the alerts come up in their dashboard as the first thing that they would see. Their active circuits, monthly spend, their open tickets, their average resolution time, how many locations they have, and then the renewals past due. So if we go into the circuit inventory, this is going to show them, what they have within billing from Hyper Networks. And you can be able to slice and dice the information by location. So thinking of large customers like HGV or SNC, that would be the case here. Again, by carrier as well. And then if we go to the contract tab, this is going to show them each circuit and how long the term is for each circuit when it is expiring. And then of course this is what we saw on the first screen, the action required, because this one is coming up for expiration in today, essentially. The billing is going to be the invoices that they have. The idea there is going to be the connection between HubSpot and QuickBooks to bring that in over to the portal. Support tickets, that lives right now in HubSpot as well. So it's just going to pull that in over as well of anything that we have inputted as a ticket within our portal. And then utilization, that actually, this one's kind of not real in the sense that it's not live. This is one thing that will be in phase 2. And I kind of talked to Ryan about this too. My initial thought was to have support team export Excel files and then import them into Softer. That's the data platform that we'll use to build out the actual customer portal. But he did have a good idea to actually request those utilization reports to the from the customer and then import them into Softer.
So what we're saying is ask the customer, whatever they're using, SolarWinds or whatever, just send us a raw log
Yeah.
data.
So that's an option, or we can also do, like I said, the initial thought was to have it export. There is Zapier that we could also integrate into there where it would pull in the information into Softer as well. Any questions on?
So the interesting thing about this is Richard Harris Law doesn't have any circuits with us, no monthly billing with us. That's why I asked if this was real data, because we've never sold them a circuit.
What? Let me see.
We've only sold them security.
Then it's not correct. And I think they mistaken it for.
That's why I asked, just because
Yeah.
I wanted to know, like, how real is this? Now, if it was just example data, it's one thing, but if it's pulling from HubSpot, there's some sort of
No.
something.
Is that the right locations? Main downtown and Summerlin office?
Yeah, those are locations.
Yeah, so I think it's probably in the wrong pipeline then maybe. I'd have to go back and check. But yeah. So
Well, James, you're gonna sell them
concept, right? It's
circuits
a
now.
demo. Huh?
Yeah, I got to renew these circuits.
Yeah, you better
Yeah.
get those circuits going, man.
Now you know
Yeah.
what to talk to them about.
Yep.
Yeah, now I know.
But yeah. It says there's 10. Let me see. Yep.
Then you said the contracts are
than
pulling
that-
from HubSpot
Yeah.
and Billings, QuickBooks, and HubSpot.
Yeah, that's the concept. So the data does have to be clean within HubSpot for it to work.
And you said it was checking via finance as well, right?
Yeah, so we can so within HubSpot, you can connect QuickBooks over to HubSpot, so we can pull it in that way. So it's universal. That's the way that it actually Claude recommends it to pull in through HubSpot. Yeah, so. And the customer would have their own unique login, obviously, to their dashboard. And it's all going to be feeding from HubSpot, essentially. Minus the utilization, that's phase 2.
What else is part of phase 2?
the utilization. Just
Okay,
the
but-
utilization. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if they
And I do
open
have
up-
a step. Sure, go ahead. Sorry.
If they were to open up a support ticket here, would it open it in HubSpot Help Desk?
That I still am working through. I don't know that that is possible on how how I would work that. That's a great question. Not something that I was working for this specific demo.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that'd be
let
a down the
that'd be-
road, but it's not
yeah.
something.
Something you could ask for, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What other questions do you guys have? Any other questions?
I don't have any.
Concerns? Okay, let me go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna ask you about, do you have any concepts about token utilization? You know, how did you get a lot of warnings in building this thing out, or not too much?
Well, it's just a demo. I used it doing Claude with HTML, and then the way that I'm able to show you guys this is through Nefty. So with
Spell
software,
that for me, will you? Because I'm not familiar with it.
Nefty,
Yeah.
Neftlift, excuse me, Netlify.
Oh, Netlify. Okay. You called it what
So
was
you
it,
took the
Nefty?
HTML and you put it into that,
Yes.
is what you pulled
Uh-huh.
on.
Yeah.
You put it
for
in
the
Nefty.
demo. So it's not. I think Nefty is a better name.
We'll make it Nefty then.
Thanks, because it's nifty.
I think it's Netlify, but
Tomato, tomato.
yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, did I answer your question? I think it was Chad last.
Yeah, you did. At least you put it into different portals, so that's cool.
Yeah. But that's not what's actually gonna be the actual portal. The
Any
portal
reason
will-
why?
It's public, so it's not security safe.
Well, you can push it. Netlify will do that though. I'm just looking at their
Yeah, you
website
can
right
make
now.
a
So you
login.
can, you
Okay.
can create the code and then push it to the web.
Okay, we could use that too. Didn't really think about using that one. All my so I have a whole implementation guide, and that implementation guide is really for Softer. I can plug it into Claude and kind of compare the two. Be happy to do that.
So one thing I've asked of most of the people, Lauren, is what from where you're at now to having this work for, let's say our top 100 customers,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess for it to being fully working, how much work do you think it would take?
I tried to do it by May 30th, to have it finished. Again, that's assuming that all data is correct in HubSpot. I know that there does need to be data cleanup within there, especially with the expiration dates. So it's a step-by-step guide, which I can send you all, on how we would actually initiate and go live. But it being, I'm not a coder, I don't know what it is. That's kind of why Softer was the recommendation that Claude came up with. Where it's literally just mirroring all the data we have in HubSpot. So if let's assume that everything goes correct, I think it would be 30 days to 60-day turnaround.
Okay. Well, I think it's impressive. I think we need to figure out the hallucination, on the data set, especially
Yeah,
if this is
that
supposed
it
to be
pulls.
pulling from HubSpot, figure out what that is, which should be, with a couple of command questions, you'll get to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
But I love it. Like I'm so impressed with what our group has put together. It's becoming very, very difficult. We should have announced, you know, $1,000 participation prize for everyone involved because I hate that
Yeah.
anybody's going to lose just because it's all so good. So, thank you for your efforts and really, really solid work. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. And I love that it was a little bit of a mess up too. It's a
Yeah.
learning. So
And for all of us
That's
too,
awesome.
you know, it's
Yeah.
fun. So,
yeah.
with that, you're welcome to stay on if you would like, and you're also welcome to drop, whichever you would prefer to do. So, Kristen, you're our final. So, you already know all of the what's going on, so you can jump in whenever you're ready.
Sure. Okay, I'll go ahead and share my screen. I think it's been really interesting. I think we've had two really strong channels here today. You know, one of them is awareness that we need these company portals, customer portals, so that we can have good communication with customers. The other one is extracting data. You know, Gabe's and Jared's projects both are kind of along those lines. So my project is also, it's very similar to Lauren's and Mick's. There's a heavy operations spin on it, which won't surprise you. So I've named it Hyper Pulse because for a customer, this is how they get a pulse on their business inside Hyper. So it really is a combination of circuit monitoring and a customer portal with some other stuff thrown in. The stats on it are, from my calculations, it'll save us about 820 hours per year, which is 4.5 months of full-time employee savings. The cash savings is like a $5,000 per month, which is on Heatrix and Kaseya. I know we're locked in on the Kaseya contract, so I'm giving that like asterisk to that.
Sure.
But the functionality is there. The monthly cost of this tool is probably about $40 a month. And I think super aggressively 3 weeks to go live, or 4 or 5, somewhere in there. All right. All right, so here's the problem I identified. Our customers don't have visibility into their inventory, their invoicing, ticketing, all the things, you know, that we've identified already. And the current practices we have on the operations team for that like circuit optimization piece are very manual and very cumbersome. Everything's built by hand. We're cobbling things together. There's a lot of manual work that is prone to error. There's manual work when we have a new circuit that's installed or disconnected. Aprilyn has to go into Heatrix, remove it, add it, make sure it's right. Carrier reports additionally are all done by hand. And circuit inventory changes right now. The only one that we have using Kaseya for visibility is HGV, and they're using it very sparsely. But Kaseya is just a behemoth of a program. I mean, I did 8 weeks of training to get it live just for HGV. They haven't really utilized it. Certainly not a good ROI on the time and money spent on that program. So this solves for that as well. So hours saved per year on outage reporting, ticket creation, circuit entry, utilization reports, Kaseya updates, about 820 hours per year. Cost savings on the actual tools that we're using right now. The two tools really are Heatrix, and I actually don't I put $400 a month on Heatrix, but I don't actually know what that number is because when I went into Heatrix, I don't have the admin privileges to see what we're paying for it. But I know it's not super expensive, but it is additional tool in our tech stack that this would eliminate. And then of course, Kaseya is around $4,500 a month. So this is a $5,000 per month savings just for those two tools alone. On customer status calls, outage reporting, manual circuit data entry, and carrier screenshot entry, and I'll cover more of that in detail. Those are the actual projects that this would replace. Oh, let me grab here. All right. So I'm going to jump into the actual demo here. So I'm going to start first on the admin side. So the tool right now, it's just an HTML link just for demo purposes. This is not real data. I had it manufacture data. Ultimately, what this will do is it will API with HubSpot and QuickBooks. That will be adequate for everything we're seeing here. And I don't think that's not going to take long. I've already identified all the fields we need to be putting in place for those APIs to work well as like the staging for deals and tickets. So on the admin side, so this is our internal company side, you can log in here and see how many circuits we have, how many are up, how many are down, how many open tickets we have, active outages. Circuit inventory, so this is circuit inventory across all customers. On this list, you can search by customer, deal, address, and also by status. So the different statuses are, is the circuit up? Is it down? Are we installing this circuit right now? Because that's a good 30 to 45 to 60 day window sometimes, but we still want to be able to see these reflected here. And then these can be downloaded, exported into a CSV file or whatever you need on the admin side. And then this is where the API into HubSpot works, where it pulls out actually active tickets, reasoning for outage, date open, and current status. One of the things that as I've worked with HGV, probably more closely than any other client we have, is they want to be able to drill down into this data about outages. What are my top 5 circuits that go out the most and why? And so this is a part of the dashboard I built out for those statistics. So this says how many outages we have right now, average duration, but what are the really problematic circuits? And then being able to drill down into these and seeing how many outages have happened on each circuit over a certain period of time, so that we can then take a look at that and see what business we need to rewrite. And you can filter these by 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, year, etc. Kind of typical portal information.
Mm-hmm.
Then one of the things I wanted to show you that we are currently doing right now is this utilization report. So right now, the process that we follow for a utilization report, I'm just going to show you exactly. Our tier 1 team goes into our carrier portals and take a screenshot of utilization graphs. Now, not all of our carriers have these, really, most of them don't. But the ones that do, our tier 1 team goes in, they take a screenshot of this utilization report. They add it to this spreadsheet. This is their actual report. So you can see we've got every carrier and every circuit within that carrier that we currently have in our book of business with that screenshot here. And then what they do is they hand this to Sid, and then Sid takes it, and she takes all these screenshots, and she's pushing them into Claude to then develop this circuit utilization report. So what I've done is I've developed within this, really with the goal of reducing as much of those really manual tasks as possible. On the admin side, I've created this section where our tier 1 team would go in here. They would actually pick a company, Smithfield Foods, select a reporting period, and then let's say they're going to put in the utilization report for this specific Lumen circuit. Then they can drop in that screenshot into this file, upload file section, and then it will populate into the report. And then Claude kind of takes it from there. It will collate all of those screenshots into one utilization report that then shows up on both the admin side. So these are sample ones that I've already uploaded, where the utilization report has been, or just the screenshot has been uploaded, and Claude has done the rest of the work of saying what are the what are the various factors and what is the status, and then it gives a recommendation. So this recommendation is really what we're after, right? Is how, okay, we have this information, so now what do we do? So for a rep to be able to go in here, look at any client and their circuits and see how the utilization is working and what is the recommendation is useful. And so it skips a lot of that process. It's still going to require that our tier 1 team goes into a portal, take that screenshot, but they just drop it in here, and then those reports will be generated.
So can the portal, like how could a script be written that automatically logs in? Or our portal access, is it gate kept by 2FA or?
That's the wall that I've come up against is Claude will not log in to portals to get that information. That's what I was hoping for, but it doesn't have that capacity right now. We might be able to continue working on that. I think those, the APIs they're building out are working at a pretty rapid pace. So it's something we could work on. But for now, that part of it, going into a portal, grabbing the reports, that is the manual piece we just can't get around.
So like, yeah, Command Center doesn't have the API. I know Cox and the individual accounts don't.
Right. Correct.
So
And-
we do, just so you know, like OpenClock could do that, but so you can get around those authentication. What you can't get around is 2FA.
Right.
At least I haven't been able to get around an automated script to get into 2FA. So if if it presents, complete this password, complete this image, what do these letters say? Or, look at your authenticator and provide I can't get through those. But you definitely, if it's a simple username password, you definitely can get past those, which I think most of the Coxes and those are only, especially if you're only
definitely
using.
something we can look at. So I mean, we have kind of two roadblocks here. One is not all carriers provide utilization reports. So we would identify the ones that do and then see if we can overcome that and automate that piece as much as possible to log in and then work their way through those.
Chad, what are your feelings on asking a customer for a log file? Just a log file dump once a week kind of thing.
To ask them for a log file, that's gonna be that most of them are not gonna they're
I
gonna
don't
give
think
you
it's
a
gonna
log file.
happen.
Well, a lot of times, it wasn't a big deal. Log file, all it is a bunch of ones and zeros and whatever. It doesn't tell, like, all I want is just the utilization log file, and you could send it to essential inbox.
Yeah, but I mean, depends on the company though, and what their security policies are. They can't just give you log files.
Credit
I'm not
One's not
asking-
giving log files.
I'm not, huh?
Credit
Credit
One would
One.
never send a log file.
Yeah, Credit One, HGV, Allegiant. I mean, I don't see them ever giving log files. They're gonna say,
No
what are you
way.
gonna use the data for? And if something's in there, then they're gonna be held liable for. We will be too.
Okay. So maybe my idea
It's
was
the same.
stupid, Lauren.
It's the same reason why we've been trying to work with HGV to get SNMP access, even read only, so we can get all the utilization from their devices. Is because of compliance.
Okay.
Okay.
Some of
Alright.
them do have it where they're able to pull it from, well, kind of, not really.
Like, I'm just looking for like a SolarWinds up down report, jitter latency, report that dumps daily or something, like we're talking about a tiny text file that
It's definitely something we could do some research and take a look at and see if we could overcome that.
yeah. Okay, sorry, tangent.
Yeah, no problem. All right, and
So
then there's just
why not build this with real data? Why not, if this is doable, why? And I'm really curious why your system, why your fake data is the LDS Church, Zion's Bank.
that's actually just what Claude came up with. Maybe it just knows I'm in Utah.
That's so funny. And Lehigh.
I know. I thought that was funny too. I don't know. You'd have to ask Claude because these are all fictitious companies that Claude came up with.
Lehigh City.
Mm-hmm.
Even Adobe.
Yep. And then there's some like really basic things on, on the user management side, like inviting an internal team member to be able to view the portal, but also being able to invite customers into their portal. So when I invite a customer, then they of course get an email, they're invited, but they only are able to see their customer data, of course, their circuit data. So it automatically sorts for that. I did throw in a few things like giving us on the admin team the option of, do we want them to see MRC? Do we want them to see the circuit ID? So, there's some things there that we can toggle on or off based on what we want a customer to be able to see inside their portal, just to be able to show that functionality. All right, so then let's jump over to the customer portal. So when a customer logs in, this is what they see. This is their list of circuits. It shows the up-down status, and because this tool actually actively pings these every 60 seconds, it replaces Heatrix. So up, down can give them that kind of instant status of what's going on for that circuit. There's a list view. There's of course a map view for customers if they want to look at it that way. And then they can see their tickets. So this is where the API into HubSpot will go grab any tickets that exist and pull them in here so they can see what the status is. It's open, closed, in progress. And from this screen, they can submit a ticket. So if they want to submit a ticket, they can do it here. They can pick which specific circuit is related to their ticket submission, which really helps us on that API side, then go grab the right circuit so they can pull in all that data for the ticket, and then it actually will build the ticket out in HubSpot. They can also reply to an existing ticket that's happening if they want an update or something like that. They also can submit a billing inquiry if they have an invoicing question. They can again, this is really basic portal information. They can see all of their invoicing history. What is the status of the invoice? Have they paid it? Is it overdue? They can download invoices from here and again, submit a ticket if they come across something on the invoice history that is problematic. They can then see these outage reports. And again, this really is built around what Frank and HGV has asked us for repeatedly, like give us a history and what's working, what's not, how do we make this better? And then some drilling down into problematic tickets and being able to see outages that are currently happening and also how many, average duration, etc. Then this is the utilization report that I showed you before. This is at the customer level. They see the utilization report that we upload into the back end, and it will populate here. And everything you can export into a CSV file. On the admin side for sure. I actually don't have the CSV export on the circuit level. Only because I don't love them to be able to completely download their whole list of circuits and then go shop it with somebody else. So
Right.
at least make them jump through a few hoops to get to that. So that's the portal in general and the functionalities there, and hopefully overcoming some of our on the operations side, knowing how much time my team spends on lots of manual processes. A lot of these pieces overcome that, and I think over time, as this was implemented, we would continue to add more and more there to continue to reduce that workload. So kind of in summary here, let's see my cost savings, operating cost comparison before the Heatrix plus Kaseya, $5,000 a month. Afterwards should be around $50 a month. And the actual technical setup of this would be hosting it on Railway and GitHub, and it would take, I think, 3 to 4 weeks to get it in place. The cost of tokenization or the tokens for this would be really minimal. From what I can see, it would be $5 to $10 a month. So that's pretty minimal. So it's the tool exists, it works with all the functionality. I've just got to get the APIs in place. And I don't know, it was 3 weeks ago or something that I met with Chad and asked him about that, and he just asked me to hold off on that to like set up the actual portal using Railway and GitHub until we established what we wanted to do, company wide for those tools. So that's the project.
Awesome.
How many man hours a month do you think this would save?
What I've got right now is, well, $820 per year,
Okay.
and that's 4.5 months of full-time employee work in a year. So it's what?
A lot.
A lot. Mhm. Yeah.
Great. Any other questions?
I mean, what things
go
do you
ahead.
think would break this? Like what?
That's a good question. I think making sure that the API connections are working well, that's one of the things that's been really frustrating for me as I work with my team is they do so much manual work, like I mentioned with adding a circuit to Heatrix, for example, whenever one is installed or disconnected, there's always risk of human error there. And this would eliminate that. And so it lowers our, time spend, but it also really increases accuracy. And I care a lot about that. So really the breaking would come from any of those APIs not functioning the way that we need them to.
Yeah.
And I know you have the ongoing as, 50, 40 bucks a month going forward, not that much in tokens. Do you think how much maintenance from you, whoever, would this system as a whole need going forward too? Because it's not the kind of thing that'll just, it's live and lasts perfectly forever.
Sure. I think once it's built out and we trust it, I don't know that part is really, it's making sure that the data that's coming in from HubSpot is correct. And I'm, building that out with the really robust QA process that I'm building. So I think I would, because this is going to be customer facing, I might actually build in another gate there that I want a human's eyeballs on it before it's allowed to be sent over into this tool. So we can make sure that anything a customer sees is correct.
Love it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Kristen. Great job. Everyone update. It looks like the leaderboard actually is working. So feel free to go in there and make those changes. Kristen, you obviously don't get to score yours. It's all 10s, I'm sure here. But you'll be neither helped nor hurt by having no score by you. But everybody else will be in there. So thank you very much. We'll let everybody go, and then we'll be announcing tomorrow. So I'm open to talking with any of the judges that want to go through, how they scored or want to talk about that. We've taken up 3 hours of your day already with this. It was totally a worthwhile exercise. I am thrilled, and I think Jared nailed it at the very beginning, very first presentation, almost the very first thing he said, which was, I think the whole point of this was to get us thinking differently and using the tool, getting us to use the tool. That's really the win here. Now, somebody's going to get $5,000 and somebody's going to get $1,000. I'm confident that we're all going to get a lot better output, and we already have. The fun thing about this is in the beginning, working with everyone, we were all having so much fun asking questions and like, hey, can you look at my email and my HubSpot and tell me what's good? And now we have, between Gabe's, 35 follow-up questions per per session. You know, I think we all have figured out how to make Claude and AI tools an actual coworker of ours, and that's been the coolest part of this. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Wow.
guys. Nice job.
I think.
We'll see you.